Can't even point at anything wearing a mask anyways. That's ace. Pep your bang.
Okay, now shut it. I'm going to make a prayer.
This is the American Indians, Indigenous Peoples Truce. Justice for all, the most dangerous show on media anywhere. OCO, Leslie, how are you?
Halito, Chimechupa.
I would like for you to do us your favorite thing, the land acknowledgement.
Let me go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Let's pause for a moment to acknowledge the traditional stewards of the lands that we reside on, and especially their ancestors, descendants, and all indigenous people who live now and have ever lived on this place that we call Turtle Island.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And again, I'm going to say you look very pretty tonight.
Oh, thank you. You do too. All that bling around your neck.
See, you just started something. I think it was foul that started that, but that's okay.
Yes, but it's nice.
Thank you. We have some very special guests tonight. One of them is my good friend for many years, Janet Marie Rogers. And we also have, can you bring them in for me?
Yes, I will.
Okay. That guy down there is trouble. Joseph Al is trouble. Am I right, y'all?
Just a little bit.
You got him nailed. You got him nailed 100%, Jay. That's it.
So we have Rhonda Lucy. Hello, Rhonda.
Hey,
Pretty lady.
I do all right.
Yeah, you do fine. We got Yuma Hester. How you doing, bro?
Doing really well, thank you very much. Glad to be on the show tonight.
Absolutely. And we got what's his name? Hey, bro, I'm gonna pick on you forever because I like you. Okay, Joseph Al.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, let's start off by each of you introducing yourselves. Let's start with you, Janet.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I'm just so really grateful and thankful to have heard from Jay Winter Nightwolf. Like you said, we have known each other for a few years now. Gosh, when I was back in the day, when I was just a visual artist, and I was doing a residency at the National Museum of the American Indian at Smithsonian in Sweetland, Maryland. And I had cause to go down, of course, to Washington, D.C. And wouldn't you know, it was just so comforting to know that Pacifica Radio opened their doors, and Jay's show in particular opened their doors to host me as a guest on the program, and we've stayed in touch ever since then. So my name is Janet Rogers, January Rogers, I go by, and I'm Mohawk Tuscarora. I live here on my home territory of Six Nations of the Grand River. I'm a writer and a producer. I'm a new publisher with the Ojisto Publishing label, and I'm really excited about this first time that I've ever written a web series, and we're soon to be launching our web series, and I'm so happy that we have some of our cast and crew with us here today. So Nyawagoa, thank you so much for having us on, you guys.
Well, no. Now, let me go to the other pretty lady, Rhonda Lucy.
I thought you were going back to Joseph.
Huh?
Seen that clip? Did you see the drag I put him in? Okay, I hope. I'm Rhonda Lucy. I work as a costume designer for major motion pictures like Paramount and HBO, Disney, and FX. I'm a filmmaker, a writer, and visual artist, all things professional weirdo, really.
Mm-hmm.
And January has been such absolute inspiration since I started seeing, their work at imaginative festivals and around the art scene here in Toronto. And then there was just such an instant click there. And it was a really fun project. I've had a really fun time sort of promoting this Indians on the Airwaves.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I know you think, why is he passing by me? Yuma, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Thank you very much. So my name is Yuma HESTER. My mother's side of the family is Anishinaabe from Neashingaming, otherwise known as Cape Croker. And my dad's side of the family is Illiwak from Moose Factory. I've spent the better part of my life mainly doing community development. I've worked and consulted with over 30 First Nations in Ontario and Manitoba. And it's just recently in the past few years where I've branched out into doing videography, photography, and some filmmaking, and have started up a collective called Bawadin Collective, mainly with family and a few close friends. But it's sort of this opportunity to branch into a new world of Indigenous artists, and it's a really exciting time to be getting into film specifically, and it's been nothing but fortuitous, and meeting people like January and RHONDA and Jay here as well. So again, super happy to be here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, two things I got to say. What is his name? Chris Iyer, the other.
Oh yeah.
You better watch out for this guy.
Right.
Yeah. And secondly, one of my dearest friends was from one of your tribes, the Anishinaabe, Dennis Banks.
Mm.
He was one of my friends for many, many years until he passed away. Okay. So let me get down to Mr. Important. Hey, Joseph, how are you, bro?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So what do you just want a quick little intro? Well, my name is Joseph Howell, aka the PowWow. You can see that's my little tag for all my silly little jokes, because I'm just here to make myself laugh and hopefully make other people smile while I'm doing it. And gotta say a shout out to my boy Wes Day, Fresh Quest, who introduced me to January. I guess 2 years ago, and man, we've been making some fun projects. We're doing some cool stuff here, and I'm having a great time. Through that, we met Yuma, and we just finished a really cool zombie music video project. you should definitely check it out. I think I sent you the link.
Okay.
It's been great. Let's have some fun here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And last but not least is my producer. She's Choctaw, and one of my best friends in this world, Leslie Fry.
I don't need to introduce myself, but I'm very excited to see this group of creatives here. This is just definitely my venue here. This is what I love to do. If you know anything about me, I'm a working actor here in New York City. And I am also a producer and a director and a writer. So I'm just excited to see anything that is being created from the Indigenous perspective. You know, we don't have that very much. In my day job, I have a really interesting day job that I feel like we need to drive a lot of the Indigenous creatives into that field. There's a need for it, to see those sides of the stories, and not from the perspective of someone else, but from the perspective of us.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of a song by Robbie Robertson, Making a Noise in This World. You remember that? Making a noise in this world. You can bet your ass I won't go out quietly. I'm making a noise in this world. And this is what we need to do, continue to make noise in this world. They need to recognize us and who we are and our lineage and how long we've been here. So anyway, I'm off the soapbox. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get used to a new name. January. What do I do with the old name?
Well, it ebbs and flows. You can bring it in, leave it out, whatever. But January is like, it's a name that kind of like resonates better with me. So I kind of switched to that, made a commitment to switch to that this year. And it's going well.
January is the first month of the year. So that means a new beginning.
That's it. And that's it too. And I was born in January. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there we go. I'm Miss January. But what you were alluding to there, Jay, in terms of being a creative, an Indigenous creative person, and the politics behind that, it's real. Like, that's a reality. We do these things and we occupy these creative spaces because we have to. Otherwise, other people, maybe non-native people, are more than happy to occupy those spaces for us. And we're seeing a big shift in that practice now, because we are not tolerating non-native people telling our stories anymore, when we are perfectly capable and we have the tools. We have embraced all the tools that are available to us: digital tools, literary tools, all of the dance and creative tools that are available to us. We are embracing those tools and picking them up to create our new narratives. And that's what we've done with this comedy series. And it was, and the comedy series, I have to say, is about a struggling res radio station, which is something I'm sure we all know about. Actually, Joe Owl is a radio guy too. And, Jay, I know you from radio, and Leslie, I don't know what you do in broadcasting, but I'm sure you've seen your share of, struggling stations. So that's what we were endeavoring to do. And the Indians on the Airwaves actually came about. It's in its kind of fifth iteration and incarnation, if you will, because it started out as a 6-part radio documentary that focused on the contemporary history of Indigenous radio. And I hate to say it, but up here in Canada, or, our occupied territories known as Canada. And that was like real talk. I did a lot of interviews and things like that. And then it became like a short experimental documentary. And then Indians on the Airwaves became a pilot for a radio podcast pilot, a comedy, and then now it's in its current iteration, which is the 10-part comedy web series. And like I said, we collected all of these amazing, talented people. Like RHONDA is a ringer. Let me tell you, RHONDA's a ringer in terms of her costume and makeup abilities, man. She really nailed every look that we were asking her to bring us. And Joe, what a trickster. We asked him to do freaking anything, and he's game. Like he doesn't ask twice why, or, you know, can I do something else? He's just like, yep, yep, yep. And then Yuma, like I said, as soon as Yuma and I met online through a film festival, and I realized that he was just, you know, he's just down the road basically from me where I live. And as soon as we started working together, man, it was like go time. We just started like putting out these projects, and it's been like that ever since, because he's an amazing, reliable, visionary camera person. And that this is just 3 of the people who were brought into the project. I couldn't be, you know, more happy with everybody. It was great.
Oh, that's very good. I like that. So let me talk to Yuma. Yuma, how did you get into what you do?
The short story is I kind of just lost my job and I decided to start doing this stuff. That's the most basic story. But I've done art and music and photography like my whole life. And when I got out of high school, I actually wanted to go to post-secondary to be a film director. But in general, I think I was just really young and I didn't really know how to tell a story at that point. So I needed that life experience. And, you know, I think at this point in my life, I'm just a little further along. And so it feels like a right fit for right now. So
I've seen a couple of your shots. I got to let you know this. I was a professional photographer for 30 years. And one of the big clients that I worked for was Revlon. And I was born with this eye. And you know what that is, right? You got to have an eye for what you do. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's in your soul, you got to be able to see it through a camera lens. And I'm so proud of you, brother.
Appreciate it. I always, I tell my son, his name's Wasay, he's about 6 years old. Something that I say to him is, imagination also is like the ability to communicate it with other people. And I think that sort of makes you a bit more of like, it's not real until you can share it with other people. And when you can share your ideas and your concepts and your imaginations with others. So. Okay.
So do you act, are you one of the actors in this?
Oh goodness, no. This is definitely a face for behind the camera. So I appreciate that though.
Okay. Go ahead.
I have a question. So can you tell us a little bit about what the series is about outside of it just being at the, you know, a fledgling radio station? Can you tell us a little bit about the community, the characters? Because I saw Joseph dressed up in Two-Spirit and I was like, oh, he looks so cute. So I just wanted to know, I just really kind of wanted to know, like, what is about it? Because he looks crazy. I mean, I saw him dressed up in traditional clothing, like ceremonial clothing, and then I saw him dressed up, you know, as a Two-Spirit character. So I'm just curious. It looks so crazy and out there.
So you actually think he's cute?
He was cute dressed up in that. Yeah, he was really cute. I mean, RHONDA did his makeup. I think you did the makeup for him. Yeah, it looked good.
How about Joe, you go into what your characters are? Maybe that'll help form the narrative for us.
Right. And before you do that, tell us who you are. Joseph Al. Yes, you.
You want to hear who I am?
No.
All right.
Your people, who you come from?
Oh, I am Anishinaabe. Not quite Nishaganash, not quite Anishinaabe. I'm the best of both worlds. Self-proclaimed Nishnash.
There's no conceit in your family, is it? Because you got it all.
No, it's good.
All right, tell us about yourself.
A little bit about myself. I'm a comedian. I've always been, that silly clown in class, trying to make people smile and laugh through the mundane thing that is school. When it comes mundane, so I would act out and make people laugh, and I was like, this feels good to make people laugh. So
oh yeah,
it's what I crafted myself to do, and just try to bring that energy every time we're out doing projects.
Yeah. So, you know, when you can reach down into the fiber of people and pull a smile and a laugh,
yeah,
it's over. You got it. So
Tell us a little bit about the character, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So back to the character of Randy is he's definitely out there. So in one scene, I'm dressed in regalia, and in that character of Randy, or that flamboyancy, what he's putting out there is anti-mask, anti-vaccine. He's out there. He's going to protest, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get people know that this is wrong, and he's gonna go out there and he's protest. And on the same hand, he's down to earth, and he's in. You'll see I'm in loincloth for one scene, and yeah, RHONDA, back to RHONDA for the costume. So he's a traditionalist, so he's down there, but he's a little high strung, even though he's around the sacred fires or whatever it may be. And he's also the worst, but in the show he's the best. But I see it as probably the worst Buffy St. Marie impersonation there is. But the character is Buffy St. Murray. So if anyone knows her, please don't show her. No. If you do, just tell her I'm sorry. It's a terrible impersonation, but it was good for what it needed to do, and I hope in the editing, I still haven't got to see the results from that scene yet. So hopefully it comes out good, and I do Buffy proud, and she's not got a hit out on me or something. I don't know what she would do.
No, Buffy is a great person.
Yeah, I bet. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope she gets a good laugh, though. That's the main part. That's what I like to do.
She reminds me of a not so serious tattooed cardinal.
A what?
Not too serious tattooed cardinal.
Oh. Interesting, putting that together.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'll fill in some of the blanks, Leslie, since you were asking about what the series is really about. So, we through comedy narrative and comedy kind of story arc, we wanted to tell the story about this really struggling, really poor res radio station that needs to find a way to keep going. The main character, her name is Patty Jones, and she's inherited the radio station from her parents, her father who started the station, but who's now gone to spirit. And so she has to really, and she's not interested in being a radio manager in any way, shape, or form. She just wants to get the heck off the res, and she wants to go to fashion school. But to make good on the promise that, to keep her father's station going, she's reaching to all of these kind of different desperate means to find some funds that will keep the signal buzzing. And there's a little fundraiser that takes place, which goes completely awry. And there's she invites this native investor into the station to see if she can make use of his money. And then that turns out to be a really, really poor decision as well, because this investor, yes, he's rich, but he's real slimy. And then until we get to the solution that finally works, which is one of the characters, his name is Wayne Weos, and actually it's a name that Joe Owl came up with for that character. Wayne Weos is like an elder character who is Patty's dad's best friend. So he's been in the community his whole life. And he reminds Patty, it's like, what? You have the spiritual means to learn how to get the answers you need. Let's go to Lodge. And then so that's where we see Joe Owl's bare naked bum on screen because he's dressed in loincloth. Thank you, RHONDA, again. And they get the answer that they need. But I won't spoil that for everybody here. I'll just say that was a pinnacle part of the series where they remember, they get reminded that we have, as Indigenous people, we have these means and ways to access this knowledge that we need to help us carrying on. And so, we just put a funny spin on that. We didn't go in the lodge, but we stayed outside that lodge, and it was snowy. And so, like if I ever had any doubt about the commitment of my cast or crew, it was on that day when we spent the whole day outside filming in the snow, in the back bush of our Gapper Grip, his family's home. And Joe Al was in a loincloth. So that's what happened there.
Yeah,
I saw that, and that's actually in the trailer. And I thought to myself, knowing how a shoot day goes, I was like, oh my God, how long did they stand out there bare chested like that, getting take after take after take? Oh my goodness. And you didn't look like you were cold at all.
Yeah, well, we had warm blankets. Rhonda was taking care of us.
Yeah, so you were actually freezing your buns off, right?
Oh, yeah, it was cold. It was cold. It was windy. It was surprisingly windy. The sun was out, but it was windy. So that's where it was really cutting through, you know.
Well, you know, Joe, I have been gifted with the authorization from the Lakota people to have a sweat lodge. And we have one right here on my property. It was given to us by Grandpa Crow Dog. And the coldest time that I ever spent in a sweat lodge was in South Dakota. I went out there to take some things to, the people out there that needed stuff. And they said, hey, we're having sweat tonight. I said, okay, let's go. I went running out the door. And before I know it, it started snowing like crazy. I said, nobody's going to have a sweat lodge tonight. It's snowing. So one of the guys walked up to me. What kind of Indian are you? Where you from? And we did 4 rounds of that lodge. But when I came out, I was running to the truck, trying to find my pants. And one of the guys up there tied my pants in knots. He said, now you're initiated. You're real Indian. I said, you know what? I'm going to break your jaw. But yeah, I'm really proud of all of you. I really am. You made my day, and you made me my year and beyond. And I want to keep in touch with you because I want to support you any way that I can. And I'm so happy to see somebody that looks like me doing comedy and is successful at it and is intelligent enough to know how to do that to the folks that don't like it. Rhonda, you getting ready to say something? I hear you thinking. Go ahead, say it.
I can't hear your audio.
What? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It just keeps dipping in and out.
All right. I'm just going to do some things in the back right now so we can make sure that we don't have that in and out. But I actually have a question for Rhonda. Sure. And I know, Rhonda, you've actually done work on other bigger productions and stuff. And what's the difference in working in something that this is independent as this, in comparison to what you've worked on before? Is there a difference in camaraderie? Is there a difference in just, the fact that you feel a little bit more familiar with this? Tell me a little bit. Oh, well. We do know the money is a difference. We do know that. We do know that you don't make too much money on an independent project. But I'm curious.
It's really just like, well, firstly, Joseph was wearing all my clothes, like my personal clothes.
Oh my gosh, girl!
Yes.
Girl,
clothes,
including the big hat, but not the loincloth.
Yeah.
That was fire.
But the Buffy St. Marie character, the direction was there's supposed to be a really bad Buffy St. Marie lookalike, so that's why it's kind of okay. So I mean, the difference really, it's just the amount of people and probably, this was probably the best craft services I've ever experienced. It's just the amount of people doing different things, larger sets, I'm sure, they're like small cities, during COVID was interesting because everything is so, you are in a bubble. You could be on set for 16 hours, but you don't talk to anyone. So it's kind of a bummer, but, this was great. It was comfortable. It was good. There's still the lines where like you don't overstep in your department, but also you're not like, you don't have to worry about like union rules. So you can still help and be a part of things, but not like, for instance, I'm not allowed to carry a hat on a major thing because that technically is prop or like hair or something. Whereas here, I mean, I've got everything. I've got my own personal clothes. I'm loading it into suitcases. I'm throwing stuff at people and telling them to put this on and then switch things. And so there's like that. So, I mean, I don't know. It's good. They all have their benefits. When you're dealing with large scale projects, though, you need that amount of rules, because if you don't, you have 500 to 1,500 people and it'd be absolute chaos.
Okay, I do want to mention though, you said craft services. What was the difference between the craft services on this set and the other craft services that you get on other sets? What made this better?
This set was actual food. So I have a thing I do at usually like set food is like usually run through this catering company, and it's like it's just like they always they either forget your meal or they like completely mess it up, and it's basically just a big ball of deep fried grease. And then when you go to a trailer, it's like the last set I was on was like the food trailer was like these like 4 Eastern European guys blasting techno music and screaming at each other. So I just didn't eat that day. But I do this thing called making a super sandwich, because they give you one little slice of roast beef on a tiny sandwich. So I just go get a bunch of sandwiches. And my whole life is, I do it for the sandwiches, is what it is.
A lot of people do it for the craft service.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm talking about sandwiches. What's happening here?
We were fortunate because on Six Nations, where we were shooting, we shot the whole thing on Six Nations, is we've got a lot of really great cooks up here. So there's one caterer in particular that I was using, Charlotte Jacobs Catering. And man, Charlotte delivered every single day, every single meal, like primo food. And
she threw down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because, you know, I felt really responsible in this production, having all these people come together to, you know, produce this vision. And I kind of felt like, you know, the super host who was responsible for all the people that were there on set. And I certainly wanted to be a good host. And so feeding people well, feeding people Indian food every single day was important. And, you know, because I had the funds to employ more people on the res. So we had like, you know, a local cleaner, because we had to clean up after every time we were using the radio station during production time. Everybody around, I was hiring local. And, you know, that was a blessing. I talk a lot of, you know, bad things about Canada, but I'll say one thing. We got the great arts funding up here. And if it wasn't for Canada Council for the Arts, we wouldn't have been able to make this production. And we'll see where it goes, but I'll tell you, it was a wonderful learning curve for everybody. And we really, you know, I saw right away after having this intense production experience between us that now, like, Yuma's gone off to do projects with other people who were part of the production. And, you know, Joe's gone off to work with Yuma. And, you know, I would invite RHONDA back in a heartbeat, because, like I said, I really trusted her and she brought her great skills. And even though we didn't have union people in terms of like the actors, because the ACTRA union rule was that if you hire one ACTRA union actor, all the rest of your cast has to be ACTRA. And I didn't have that much money. I mean, I have money, but I didn't have, ACTRA money.
No. You can't let them push you around with their rules, you know.
Well, no, she has to go by the rules. But I have to ask you this. Do you all have the same thing that we have here, where you can do financial core and you can actually hire a big name actor to come in at, you know, no name actor prices?
I don't know, because a lot of the actors who I had reached out to who are paying into ACTRA, they didn't want to mess with that rule at all. Like they didn't want to jeopardize their good standing with the ACTRA union.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that because
Okay.
actually I wasn't probably supposed to say anything about that because they really dissuade people from doing it. But I'm telling you, some of these big name actors who work on independent films, there is no way an independent film can afford them. And that's because a lot of them are financial core.
Sure.
I'm affordable. I'm not a part of ACTRA or whatever that is, and I'm not going to join. So
Okay. Yeah, Jay, season 2, bro. Season 2.
okay. Yeah, because I want to hang out with Yuma.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yuma looks like he knows where all the good food is. Right, bro?
Not here in Hamilton. Funny enough, a lot of good food out in 6, though.
Oh yeah. So
now what is after this is done, after you've created this, what are you working on after this? Or do you want to continue the series? Do you have just like a whole storehouse of things that you want to create?
Yeah, the project currently is getting edited. And then we're going to create a website where the episodes can live and people can visit the series on the website. And we have a launch lined up for June 3rd, and that's a free community launch. It's important that we do a community screening because, you know, we were in community when we were shooting, and we shot a lot of it over at CKRZ FM 100.3, Voice of the Grand, which is Six Nations Res Radio. So we were shooting on location at the Res station. And my hope for this is that what we come out with, the result of our web series, is going to be a calling card to bring it around to other producers and other broadcasters to see if they want to further develop it. I think our story has got great potential. I think everybody did a great job in terms of acting and bringing the funny. And, you know, it wasn't intended to follow on the coattails of what we've seen on the streaming platforms like Rutherford Falls and Res Dogs. It wasn't intended to do that. This project was in development before those shows were even on the air. So this is just kind of like the idea of this show kind of caught on to that collective consciousness, if you will, and those shows have really opened a trail for a series like this one. People are ready for that Indian comedy, you know.
Leslie, do you have a clip you want to throw in here somewhere?
Actually, we did show we don't have like an actual clip. We have the advertisement, but we can actually show that again. Or we could show actually, let's just show our intro again. And then we can kind of give everybody that didn't get to see the intro a little bit about the show. And we can see Joe dressed up.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
Here we go.
Can't even point at anything wearing a mask anyways. That's ace. Heck your bang.
Okay, now shut it. I'm going to make a prayer.
She reminds me of my grandmother. Y'all get over here and shut up. Don't move. I'm doing something.
I'm going to share my screen because I wanted to show some of the clips, some of the things from the show itself. Some of the pictures that you all sent me.
Not fair, Yuma. You're eating. You're not giving anybody any.
Totally busted.
So this is the full cast right here.
Cast and crew, yes.
Yeah, cast and crew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had native sound person, native director of photography, native gaffer grip doing lighting for us. Of course, RHONDA's in there doing costumes for everybody. And if you notice, we have a Black actor who we invited in because we had a Black character written in. This is, oh, you're going to love this guy. You might want to have this guy on your show sometime. This is, this is Adrian, thank you. Adrian Harjo. Adrian Harjo just got back from Rome, yo. He was out there dealing with the frickin' Pope, and he's back. He's actually from Kansas. He married in because he has good taste in women. And so he lives on 6 now. And he's actually a really awesome PowWow MC. And he has some history as a radio DJ as well. He's awesome. And he plays Wayne Wias.
That's Wayne Wias.
Yeah,
that's Wayne Wias.
That's Wayne Wias.
I like that hat.
Yes. And this is a character named Tommy. Is with other productions, you know, sometimes you have to think quick, and we lost one of our actors, like they just didn't come for the second production round, and so we had to replace him and wrote him in as a brother to the first character. So this is Andrew Hill, and he lives here on 6. So he was a I really appreciated him coming in and filling that role so quickly.
Yeah.
There's our sound man, Eric Anderson. And Eric just lives down on 5th Line. He's here on 6 too, man. And he's very passionate sound person. He loves all the sound equipment. He loves to be out there. He loves studio work. And yeah, he was like real keen about everything all day long. He was great person to have on set. Anybody else want to say anything about Eric?
Eric's awesome. Just don't whisper into the mic.
Yeah, man.
Very professional. He was great. And so
Wait a minute.
Just a sweet man.
Is that like real barbecue there?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. I kept walking by thinking there was a barbecue happening, and real disappointed there was nothing there.
On the side of the radio station, and nobody blinked. Like that's the joy of filming on the res. Everybody's just like, oh, there's a fire. It's people barbecuing hot dogs. That's fun. You know. And it was just so great. It was so great.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, this is Jace Martin. Jace Martin is an amazing singer-songwriter. He lives here on 6 too.
Yep.
And he has many albums. You would love his singing because he is a crooner. Yep. And a very enthusiastic actor. And so when we asked him to come in and say, hey, Jace, can you come in and play like a kind of a douchebag? He goes, yeah, sure, I'm there. So he was all about it. And he did a great job. And of course, RHONDA put this look together, and I love this look. I love this look. It's very, very
his mustache I drew on. So I also did hair and makeup.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
It's so good.
You can't tell. And he's wearing my jewelry, by the way.
He looks so real. Like at the beginning of the shot, where the long shot of him coming in.
Yeah.
That looks real. His facial hair looks really real.
Wow. RHONDA did a great job.
Yes. That's dope.
Yeah. So that was fun. And there's Jai. Here's Jai King Green. And I'll just have you know that Jai and her family female singing group is nominated for a Juno presently. So that's our version of the Grammy, and rightly so, because they're powerful traditional women's drum group and hand drum group, and so good for Jai. And Jai, again, very enthusiastic, showed up every single day, ready to rock it, and she did every single scene.
So what's the name of the group?
Who knows the name of the group? It's a traditional name.
Oh my God,
I have to pull it up on the old book of face there, bud.
Okay. We're going to pull it up on the Facebook and tell us the name. It's the Something Bear Singers, and she sings with her mom and her sisters.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait a minute.
And she couldn't make it tonight. She
Style them
couldn't
for free,
Yeah.
eh?
say.
I offer to style them for free if they want.
Amazing. Oh, that's so great. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
because
great.
she's like, I don't know what to wear. So I was like, well, come on up to Toronto. I'll show you where everything is.
That's so great.
Come see.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, that's you know who.
January.
Rick and
That's
trying to be a
That's a very powerful picture.
Yeah, we had a Ian Miracle, who's actually Tuscarora from Six Nations. We had him come in one day. He's professional photographer, and he just started snapping pictures all for one evening that we were there. So yeah,
it's a great capture.
I like that shirt. I like that shirt.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Shirt.
Manitou Muckwa Singers.
Manitou Muckwa Singers. Yeah, that's the band.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for checking that out.
Yeah, can you put them in touch with me? I would like to have
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jai couldn't make it because she teaches Anishinaabe language class, eh?
Wow.
And then tonight they have like their social. So they've got like a powwow social night on Wednesdays. So she couldn't make it. But she might, she'd be interested to speak with you, Jay, later, and Leslie for sure. So this is Jenny Blackbird. Who wants to talk about Jenny? Because,
I've known Jenny for a long time. I've been working with her in community arts, actually. Probably since I was about 24. I just absolutely looked up to her. She's an old Toronto punk.
Yeah.
And has now moved into this sort of, she talks a lot about her life as a radical Toronto street punk, and I just, of course, just ate that up as she's like you're my hero.
and what was her character, Rhonda? What was her character?
Oh my God, what was the character's name again?
Auntie Brenda.
Right, Auntie Brenda. Auntie Brenda is a walking medicine bundle, and
Oh my God.
this is what I wanted with the coat. That's the whole point of the coat. That's supposed to represent that it's smoke, right? It's all that colors and all of those things, and then there's a lot of protection going on in there. So Auntie Brenda was a Hellcat.
Yeah, man.
And knows it still, and still is in her mind. So it was really fun. She was fun to work with.
Yeah, good one. There's our DOP, director of photography, Joel George. Where's brother from? Yuma, where's this brother from?
KSP.
What does that mean?
Kettle Stony Point.
Kettle Stony Point, brother. And he was very organized. I really loved that he was so reliable. Kept all the shots labeled, in order, rolled with the best of it, best of them when we had to reorganize the shoot schedule, and just brought it. He's a real righteous guy.
I know some Georges up there in Six Nations.
Yes, lots. Oh, who this be now?
Oh, I don't know.
Benny.
Let me get my glasses on.
This crazy guy.
Who is this crazy guy?
He's a crazy guy.
My favorite part about this was when the scene attracted an actual anti-vaxxer protest.
What?
And
That's
we
right.
had to just kind of give them merch to get them to go. So they kept interrupting the shots. They're like, no, by chanting along. I think that's probably my absolute favorite moment.
Oh my God.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was running back and forth on that platform there, that sidewalk, and I was screaming and yelling. I was flagging people down with my thing and dancing around in the grass, and it was fun.
Oh, it must have been so authentic for somebody to actually just walk up and think that you were really that you were real.
Yeah,
That you were actually that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do, I guess.
Yeah. One man protest there.
Yeah.
And there's Lacey Hill, and Lacey Hill's an amazing singer-songwriter. Another, how all the music talent is up here, Jay. You know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Lacey is one of the staples in the community who really brings it. What a voice! What a voice!
Mm-hmm.
And she was our lead actor. Never had acted before, but man, she was just gung ho, and she did a marvelous job. You know, Patty Smith is her, or Patty Jones rather is her
Jones.
character's name. Lacey Hill. Yeah.
You know, when I spoke about the Georges, Doug George, who was husband of the late Joanne Shenandoah.
Oh yes, yes.
He's one of my friends for years, and the first time I saw Joanne, she came to the National Museum of American Indian about 20 years ago.
Yes.
And she walked up to me. I was sitting in the cafeteria eating, right? She says, "Why are you eating by yourself?" I said, "Well, I had to do this quick." She says, "No, come over here and sit with us." So it was her, Doug George, and two of her sisters.
Yes. I feel for her. I feel for her husband.
Oh,
Doug George is a great mind, you know. He's a great mind.
So she said to me, she says, "What's your name?" I said, "Jay Winter Nightwolf." "Oh, you're the guy on the radio?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, as of right now, brother, I'm adopting you. You're my brother."
Super.
Yes. So who is this guy?
Anybody want to say?
He looks like he's getting ready to tear the door down.
He's got a show tonight with an old musician friend of mine from back when we were street kids.
So this is Michael Moses, and Michael Moses, he's actually in real life, he's a stand-up comedian. And he came to us in this role as Gerald. And there's not really a love interest, or there's only an implied love interest that goes on between he and the lead actor, Patty. But the story with this character, Gerald, is that he has graduated from broadcast school. And now he's looking for some place where he can do his work hours. And so he comes on the res, and he realizes at first it's like very, very strange. You know, through his character, we get to explain a lot of the idiosyncrasies that happen on res and through res radio. And then eventually this character kind of fits right in. Like he starts to realize, oh my God, I'm fitting in maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, because he's got a pose there like he just kicked the door in.
That's it. That's it.
Lovely.
Love it.
So, Yuma, you are awfully quiet, man.
I'm loving the chatter, and yeah, I think is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go back to January, and you know, I'm somewhat new on board with this project in a way, but I know this has lived inside of you for a long time, and I'm wondering if you could take us back a little further, even, you know, because this is your baby, and this is like born of you, and like this is like something. I wonder where it came from, why the radio station. I love like the style. The style's rock and roll. It's different, you know. I wanted to know if you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I like the tagline. It's WKRP on the res. Now, who didn't like WKRP comedy series, right, when it was on television?
Oh yeah.
You know?
I remember the turkey drop on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. There was so many great parts about that comedy series, and just it's about the medium. If I could answer Yuma's question, I have to say it's about the medium itself. Radio is so personal. It's such an intimate medium that if you say radio to anybody, they're going to have a relationship. They're going to tell you about what their relationship to radio is. And so I thought, okay, even though I want to focus these stories on res, everybody has got a relationship with radio, no matter who you are, where you grew up. So I just thought in that way, it would be relatable. And, you know, people would, a non-native audience would have the opportunity to learn a lot about the importance that res radio plays in terms of, you know, identity of the community, the sovereignty of the community. Just, you know, the voice is part of the identity. And so I just have a passion for radio, and I just love the idea of kind of doubling down with my passions. Like I love radio and I love writing. And so I thought, here we go. this might work.
Yep. So we got. Oh, we're almost at the end of the show. What happened to the hour?
I know, because it has been so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at the time and I'm like, oh, I could stay here for a long time.
Nice.
So let me ask all of you one personal favor. Will you come back again?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Of course.
Yeah. And also on my radio show when everybody get back together.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know January, you're taking off Italy, right?
I'm heading out Monday to Venice.
Nice.
It sounds so bougie.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if you were going to Rome, I would want you to take this and give it to the Pope.
Right. Don't worry. I'm bypassing. I'm going to bypass Rome for that very reason. I just think it'd just be too upsetting to head out there. So I'm just going to bypass Rome altogether. Okay. But listen, we would love to come back when the web series is up and running.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you guys making space for us to do this kind of like pre-promo. Appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put information out there to all of my viewers and listeners to be on the lookout for this project.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually going to put it in post. And so when we do, it'll be put in post, everyone. And I will also put the slide up that for the community showcase that you're having.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I think you gave that to me. So,
yes.
But we definitely will be following up on this. I'm so excited for you. I'm loving everything about it, the aspect of it, and the fact that it's just really good quality storytelling. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I want you all to stick around after the broadcast go off. Okay, so my closing words is it okay now, Madam Producer?
Yes, you can go ahead.
You know, my grandfather would always tell us when we were little kids. He says, do you guys know what it's all about? I said, no, Grandpa. He said, it's not about the pigmentation of your skin or the color of your eyes or the texture of your hair. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about your traditions or your culture. And he would look at us and say, do you know what it's all about? And of course, my cousin Junie, he was the youngest one. No, Grandpa, what is it all about? And he would stand up and put his right hand over his heart. And he would say, it's not about any of that. What it's really all about is how you treat my heart. So I'll close the show. These words of Cherokee, Danada, Goai, Wado. And I'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you.